You know what you do. Yeah. I'm gonna go eat lunch, you know. You got trophies, you got
Can I reveal my program now?
yes. It's legal now.
That was green, not black.
We can probably rosettes.
I just asked if I could get my beige program out. Now I can go through and go, la 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 la, I got one.
Ribbons. Oh. Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Your ring looks a little foul.
No pun intended. Hey, Cole, you need to go get the ring.
There you go. You got the right guy. Just think of all those chores you did for your boy.
Sarah, I know you want to be in the I'll put on. This will be first call for junior showmanship. First call for junior showmanship.
maybe we ought to give her a code. Intermediate. Yeah, the intermediate. Yeah, about that intermediate. Really hard. Get her alerted to that.
This is second call for junior showmanship. Second call for junior showmanship. Peewee showmanship will be right after the junior showmanship. Peewee showmanship will be right after junior showmanship.
Yeah, this is Jay Harbuck's meat chili bars in 15 minutes. Chili bars in 15 minutes. Right. Okay, I told her 15 minutes.
got a really nice class of showmanship to start here today. The two young ladies I have at the top of the class were very close as far as their movement around the ring. The young lady I'm going to use to lead off the class with was just a little more precise in her foot placement, kept that head up, kept that animal exhibited to me at his best of overall look. The young lady in second just needs to maybe slow down just a little bit and just be a little bit more calmer about her leg placement, and everything will go a little bit more smoothly and look a little bit more professional in the ring. But two really nice showmen to start the class with. The young man I have in third did an excellent job of moving this doe around the ring. Foot placement is good. Just needs to maybe get that head jacked up a little bit more, show her off a little bit more, make her a pretty female. The young ladies towards the end of the class, we kind of had some visits about the way the movement around the ring, but I really appreciate the way they handle these animals in the ring, and they're exhibited very well. Thank you.
Entering the ring now is junior showmanship. And today we would like to thank our judge today, who is Jerry Hensler from Arlington, Nebraska. He's a longtime club lamb breeder and has raised many lambs over the years that have competed nationally. So we want to give him a big thank you for coming and judging our show today.
I want to say she usually sends us $50 because those plaques are a little more. Tell her, hold on.
After junior showmanship today, we're going to be picking the champion showman and the reserve champion showman. Right after that, we are going to do the Peewee showmanship class. So this will be first call for Peewee showmanship.
A really, really good class of showmen out here. The young lady, I've left out there furthest from me right now is going to be your first place in the class. Young lady did an excellent job of keeping that doe's head up and keeping it alert and keeping it at the right angle for me to really appreciate her values in that goat. Young lady in second did a great job as well. Maybe not as precise on the front end and keeping those feet and legs square, but did an excellent job of moving that goat around, keeping that head up. The goat wanted to fight her a little bit, and she didn't give up and kept going. The young lady I have in third did a really, really good job of the movement around the ring. Foot placement kind of needs to be enhanced on this showmanship, but the young lady did a great job. And further down the ring, we just have a little more just alertness and keep those goats with their heads up as high as we can get them, just to show off their the value of that animal. Thank you.
Put the Peewees in here.
In the ring now, we're going to be selecting the champion showmanship. So we need the first and second place winners from the senior and the junior divisions. We need the first and second from senior and junior divisions for reserve and champion showman. This will be last call for the Peewee showmanship exhibitors. Last call for Peewee showmanship.
You'll have to come up here. You'll let us and copy it and give it to me. Okay, so you have the copy.
We've got 4 exceptional showmen out here that do an excellent job. When I come to look at these showmanship classes, it's like me kind of looking at these showmen and see who I'm going to hire to exhibit my animals to their best of their ability, to get them placed high in the class. And at some of these sales where we actually promote these animals and sell them, if I'm going to sell an animal, I want one of these young kids on them to make them look the best they could, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. And I think we have 4 individuals out here that can very well do that in any part of the industry. But we have 2 young ladies that kind of excel in that aspect. A little bit calmer, keep those heads where they need to be, and keep the feet and legs pretty precise on placement. And I'll go out and congratulate your champion in the reserve. Thank you.
So your champion showman is going to be Sarah Dilly, and the reserve is Anne-Marie Wirtz. Congratulations. Showing now is going to be the Peewee Showmanship. This is going to be first call for Breeding Go Kid Class 1. First call for the Breeding Go Kid Class 1.
really get to talking to these young showmen, and they really have a lot of enthusiasm as far as being out here maybe for the first time and showing these goats. But each of them are doing an excellent job, and just keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you to all the Peewee showmen who came out today. And today they will get a ribbon, and they also get a dilly bar for participating, donated from Dairy Queen today. This will be the last call for the breeding doe kid class 1 and first call for breeding doe yearling. want to take some time and thank Nor Acres. They are the ones that donated the trophies for our champion and reserve champion, Showman. So once again, we want to thank Nor Acres for donating those trophies today.
On the inside past the gate, it's not attached. So we need a wire or something. Huh? No, it's 2 ends of this meet each other. Okay?
Got a really nice class of does here. We have to kind of start evaluating them. I'm sure there's a lot of age differences. There's a lot of condition differences in the class, and that's where I apologize for taking a little time and trying to evaluate to make sure we get the right one on top. But we have a doe here to start off the class with. I really like the way she carries out through her front end. She's got a high chest floor in her. She's really good boned. She's really smooth when you get down her top. She moves out really well. A really nice doe to start the class with. I really like the condition on the doe I have in second. She's a little bit thinner over the ribs, but a little more rougher in her shoulder makeup. I'd like to square her out and lift her up in that tail head. Give her a little more width out through those hooks and pins to play against this number 1 doe. The doe I have in third is probably a more youthful looking doe. I really like the condition and freshness I have in this doe. She's really good boned. Give her a little more time and maturity to really evaluate her against that first place doe. You might have a ton of competitions, but a really nice doe I have in third. The young lady in fourth has a really nice profile in doe. Just like to spread out her ribs, give her a little more barrel to her to make her thicker from front to rear. The young lady I have in fifth with the dark colored doe or the black pointed doe. I really like the ruggedness of this doe. Just like to clean her up in her condition. She's getting a little bit sloppy about her front end, but really nice doe to go home and work in the flock. Thank you.
Okay, so first and second purple both go to Lillian Vogel. There was a total of 6 purples today. The others were Sarah Dilly, Alexis Isaacs, Samuel Vogel, Elizabeth Funk, and then the rest were blues in no particular order. Is Samuel Vogel, Alina Cutlers, Chloe Cutlers, Fox Funk, Kayla Isaacs, and Danielle Schreiber. So this class will be the breeding doe yearlings. And then first call for the breeding age doe.
I'd like 1% on this side.
The first and second doe from each one of these classes is going to come back for the grand champion doe. So the first and second from each class will come back for grand champion doe.
there's no,
Jump in there to help me.
we'll see if they get it. You want me to just be in there just in case? I wanna get you.
This will be first call for breeding aged doe. First call for breeding aged doe.
Free age does next.
This will be a last call for the breeding aged doe. Last call for breeding aged doe.
Jay's a master showman.
I really appreciate these young people bringing these big does out here, and they're really doing an excellent job. They're staying with their does and getting them shown to me really nicely. The young lady I'm going to start with has a doe that's got a lot of body to her. I like when you get up on top of her shoulder. She shows me a lot of thickness right up over that rack and carries it out through an excellent hip. Really good bone doe, really good doe to start the class with. The young lady that's standing over against the pins on the side, a really long-sided doe. Just like to bring her down in her flank and give her a little more thickness in that rear quarter than she does in the front quarter. But a really nice doe to put in second hole. The young lady I have in third has a really fresh appearing doe, a little more feminine about her front end, where that kind of ties into she needs a little more mass to her, a little more body to her to play against these top two does. The young man I have in fourth with a spotted doe, really nice body doe, just needs a little more overall size and dimension to play higher in the class today. Thank you.
First place in that class goes to Lillian Bogle. Second was Alexis Isaacs. There was a total of 6 purples. So there was also Kayla Isaacs, Elizabeth Funk, and Cyrus Harner. And in the blues, there's going to be Samuel Bogle, Alina Cutlers, and Chloe Cutlers.
You have 3 aged does.
Up in the ring next is the breeding aged doe.
got a description of what they want.
This class here kind of fell in place a little bit more easily than the last couple of them. The young man brings me out a big doe that's really up-fronted, really big bone, a lot of volume in this doe, a lot of springer rib, a lot of things you like to see in a really nice boar doe. The young lady I have in second is a doe that's got good bone to her. I'd just like to see her a little bit more smoother down that top line, bring down that rump structure, and bring up that tail head to level out that hip area. The young lady at the down has a little bit more leaner type doe, but she's real feminine up through her front end. Just needs a little more volume and body to compete against these top two does. Thank you.
First purple in that class went to Samuel Bogle. First purple went to Alina Cutlers, and then Chloe Cutlers. Coming in the ring next is going to be the top two from each one of the breeding doe classes for the grand champion doe.
I've seen some of that. Hit the legs.
It was all over Iowa State Fair to show the same box. This is a champion breeding though.
Okay, that's what I need. Thank you. Yeah, I think that'll make it go pretty good. to show you this one's first, right?
And now we're missing one. I got this. Got the snack.
You have a really impressive goat breeding show here at the fairgrounds. I really appreciate these young people bringing these high caliber goats out to me. We've got some goats that have some body to them, some bone to them. They're getting some thickness and their balance, getting those front ends up the way they need to be. Really improved the goats in Nebraska this last couple of years, and it's really kind of fun to come out and evaluate these goats. I'm going to go out and select my champion doe and my reserve doe, and I think these young kids need a nice round of applause for bringing a nice set of goats to us.
So champion doe went to Samuel Bogle. Reserve champion went to Lillian Bogle. Congratulations. The trophies for those two winners came from the livestock boosters, so thank you to the livestock boosters for donating those trophies today. So up next is going to be class 1 for the meat goats. And class 1 for meat goats. Then this will be first call for class 2 meat goats. First call for class 2 meat goats.
I don't want to interfere. No. My daughter, your grandson, sign him up for a lot of COVID stuff. Sign him up for
Like you want to go Saturday in the dog show. Oh, just as a Clover kid and like in the
yeah.
the best bet would be to go over to the static area and find Kristen. She's in charge of that. She can get either Kristen or Sadie. Okay.
We got a goat here in the extremely lightweight class, but the goat is made awfully well and it's structured very well. Just need to take home and get some feed on this goat and see what happens in the future. Thanks.
So first purple in this class went to Danielle Schreiber. It's the final call for meat goat class 2 and first call for meat goat class 3.
3 is ready to shoot.
This will be second call for Meat Goat Class 3. Second call for Meat Goat Class 3. This will be last call for Meat Goat Class 3. Last call for Meat Goat Class 3. And first call for Meat Goat Class 4.
We've got a class of meat goats here that I'd like to see the bunch of them kind of about a month from now on really hard feed and to really properly evaluate them. But we have two market goats here on the top end of the class. We've got a goat here that has a lot of thickness for as light as he is and for little as he is, but you get your hands on him and he really gives you a little bit to hang on to when you get behind that shoulder and out through that hip area. But a really nice goat, and I'd like to see him a few pounds heavier. Same with the goat I have in second place. I really like the extension this goat has. Just like to bulk him up, bring out that rib shape a little bit to give him more on a thickness right up behind those shoulders. And further on down the class, like I said earlier, just need to take these goats home and really push them. I know the hot weather's been kind of bad, but take them home, push them, and really kind of evaluate them and bring them out again later at a heavier weight. Thank you.
Really? Really?
First purple in that class went to Chloe Cutlers. Second purple went to Elena Cutlers. The following were blues in no particular order. It's Danielle Schreiber, Chloe Cutlers, Brianna Pittman, and Danielle Schreiber. In the class, in the ring now will be the Meat Goat Class 3, and it'll be second call for Class 4. Second call for Class 4.
Really got a nice set of goats in this market class. The young lady in the far from me is going to be your top animal in this weight range. A goat, I'm sorry, that you get down the top of that goat. Really a lot of thickness from front to rear out through those hooks and pins. Probably where she excels and wins the class. But a really nice goat to start off the class with. The young man I have here in second, really nice, more closely matched to my first place goat. Just like to change and maybe make its chest floor just a little tighter, a little rounder ribbed, just a little neater package up through that front end to beat my first place goat. The young man I have in third with the extended goat, very attractive goat when you get from sight. I really like the hip in this goat, just like to make the rib a little rounder. It's a little higher chine when you get up on top of it, but just like to punch a little more power when you get right behind that rack to move up any further in the class today. The young lady I have towards the bottom of the class, really nice goat. Love the rack in this goat. I love the feet and legs. Just like to put a little more width out through those hooks and pins to play against these top individuals. Thank you.
Okay, first place in that class went to Anne Marie Wirtz, and second place was Zachary Pittman. Also placing in purple, it was Samuel Bogle and Elizabeth Funk. In the ring now will be Class 4 meat goats. It'll be first call for Class 5 meat goats. This is going to be last call for Class 5. Last call for Class 5.
This young lady come up here with a black-headed wether, just a really attractive goat. Yeah, I like the extension he has up through his front end. I like the freshness he has in his condition. When you get up over that rack, he's really smooth in his muscle pattern, clear down his top. And you look at the forearm of this goat, he has a lot of bulge in that forearm, which kind of indicates he's got a lot of muscle clear out through his body. But a really nice goat to start the class with today. The young man I have in second has a goat that is really, when you get up and appear to him over the top, he's a larger rack goat, but then you get your handle on him. I'd like to freshen up his condition a little bit, but he does have that forearm that's pretty powerful as well. There's a lot of products in this goat. Really nice goat to use in the second place hole. It's kind of an attractive goat I have in third, just a little bit more sloppy fronted. I'd like to raise that chest floor, take that chest plate back in it, bring it up, straighten down that top a little bit, and give a little more product in that goat. Really nice class of goats. Thank you.
First purple in that class went to Lillian Bogle. Second went to Cecilia Stearns. Then the rest of the purples went to Anne-Marie Wirtz and Cecilia Stearns. And then the blue ribbons went to Kayla Isaacs and Elizabeth Funk. In the class now is going to be Class 5 meat goats. And next will be Class 6. So first call for Class 6 meat goats. Also, we'll need Samuel Bogle to the announcer's stand to pick up your sign for the champion breeding goat for your pin. It's going to be second call for class 6. Second call for class 6.
Here you go. Sarah, you need one?
Thank you.
God, you did a good job, Dan. Oh, yeah. You know, someone says you're retiring and you look on that picture, no? You can do it without pay. You can just nice enough to get it.
Yeah, I might. We'll bring the candy next week. We'll bring you and candy.
We can bring them in before senior show.
Clover kids. Your box.
We've got two individuals to lead off this class. So when you get your hands down the top of these goats, just a lot of muscle shape to them, a lot of firmness to them. You like the forearm, you like the bone, the foot size they have in them. Really nice size, really balanced goats. The young lady is a little smoother appearing goat that I'm going to use to win the class. A little higher fronted, a little stronger topped, what excels her to the top of the class. The young lady I have in second might happen to be a little bit thicker when you get the hind quarter, but just has a little more wasteful product when you get up into that shoulder area and that chest plate. Like to trim her up, make her neater package up through there to place above my first place goat. The goats towards the third, fourth, and fifth place hole, really attractive. I like the upfrontedness the goats have in them. Just need more forearm, more spring of rib, more rack shape to them to compete against my first place goats. Thank you.
First place in that class was Lillian Bogle. Second place was Cecilia Stearns. The third purple went to Kayla Isaacs. The following were blue ribbons. It would be Alexis Isaacs and Cyrus Harner. And up now is going to be Class 6 meat goats. Class 6 meat goats. If you haven't heard yet, the Lancaster County 4-H Council is going to be having a fundraiser on Friday, August 4th. It's going to be featuring Raising Cane's Winter Chicken Dinner. You can purchase tickets for the event ahead of time at the 4-H food stand for $7 or $8 at the door. It's going to be featuring a hot Raising Cane's food truck. The meal includes 3 chicken fingers, sides, and a drink. Again, that's going to be Friday, August 4th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the exhibit hall.
Is it working? I was worried about a week ago. Our gateway server kept shutting off, and I got it back up and running Monday. Finally, well, it's been on since then. So
After this class today, we are going to be picking the champion meat goat and the reserve champion meat goat, which are going to come for the first 2 purples in each class.
Counting the attacks come in on 4/20/20 hooked into. Well, they made a change in the settings to the walk counter. So it was doing anytime the counter attack would come down and just shut off. Protect itself, but it wouldn't turn itself back on. Seems like we got that problem.
Really like the cleanliness of this goat that I'm going to win the class with. Really up-fronted, really tight-ribbed, really stands out on his feet and legs. Good-footed goat. Really like the thickness it got down, the uniformity when you get down the top of that goat. Really nice one to start the class with. The young man I have in second follows it more closely. Like the length of side of this goat and the bone and the ruggedness. Maybe just doesn't have as neat a package when you look up through that front end of that goat and that forearm. You just like to tighten it up and maybe a little bit more extension and up through the chest floor. The young lady I have down in third hole, a really nice thick top goat. Just like to make a prettier package and a little more eye-appealing when you get from the side of that goat. Thank you.
First and second purple in that class went to Sarah Dilly. Third purple went to Alexis Isaacs. will only be a 10-minute break between the goat show and the start of the sheep show. A 10-minute break between the end of the goat show and start of the sheep show.
Really impressed with the quality of meat goats we have here. But more importantly, I think I'm really impressed with the way these young people have brought these goats out and exhibited to me. I think they need a really nice round of applause, and the parents ought to be extremely proud of the way they behaved themselves in the ring and exhibited these animals. Really nice set of goats, as I said. When you look at these goats, I think we've improved them, like I said earlier. Try to get as much bone as we can into them. Keep the ribs kind of round to them. Keep a lot of thickness when you get up right behind that shoulders. Keep those chest floors as neat as you can. Straighten out those top lines if we can. That's some of the things we look for in evaluating these goats. And I'm going to go out and pick my champion goat in reserve. And congratulations, kids, for a great job.
Okay, now come up, get the money. You get 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Do your thing, and then we'll be back. But I bet it'll be 15:20 before we get started, but I'm just saying.
10 minutes.
10
I'm going
minutes.
to judge whatever's out here in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Don't get here.
Okay.